Okay, good morning, guys. So everyone is having this batch tracker sheet access, right? So please go, please check it once, guys, and also please check the WhatsApp group description, guys. Unless until specified, the WhatsApp, Zoom meeting ID remains same. Okay, please check the WhatsApp group description. I have provided the Zoom meeting ID also here. All right, and the batch timings and all. Clear, guys. And check the batch tracker for concept covered on each day. And as you know, once you confirm your joining, I'll be adding you to the WhatsApp group. This is July 2023 WhatsApp group for your batch. And we have a playlist URL for every batch. So I have shared the playlist URL also. I'll share it one more time as we have some new joiners in the WhatsApp into this batch. So I will share the playlist URL one more time in the WhatsApp group, guys. So, however, please, follow this playlist URL. Sometimes you may, once I start sharing the private videos, right? So once we start the actual tool, I'll be uploading the recorded sessions as a private videos and sharing it to those who confirm their joining only, right? That is clear, right, for everyone? And we have 5 videos till now in this playlist URL. Clear, guys? So this batch was started on July 12th, and we are done with 5 sessions till now. And you can see the number of sessions also over here. I think one session is missing. Here I am saying, okay, demo session. The first demo session is, I did not upload that because I got disconnected in between. That's why I could not upload that. Okay. So it got split into 2 videos, right? But it's a demo session, which you already watched, everyone already watched. And thereafter, like we had 5 sessions from July 12th. Clear, guys? And so please follow this playlist URL. Okay. So I'll share the playlist URL one more time uh, in the WhatsApp group, guys. And you will be having access for minimum 1 year, but don't wait till 1 year, guys. Okay, for going through the recording sessions. So please, and because like this weekend, I am going to share an online assessment to you, and it's mandatory for everyone to attempt that. It's mandatory for everyone to attempt the weekly assessments. Clear, guys? I cannot allow you from the next
Oh,
if someone missed to attempt that assessment, I cannot allow you from the next week, guys. Yeah, someone is asking something.
sir, that batch tracker sheet I'm not able to access, Bhavna.
Bhavna, okay. So let us know. So yesterday I discussed what is load testing, right? So can we have a quick assessment guys, on the concepts that are covered till now? So what is load test, Khalid? Khalid, what is load test? So can you please close the PPT, guys? So every day, like we'll have for the first 5 to 10 minutes, we'll have quick assessment from tomorrow onwards, guys. Okay. So that, we can accommodate the late joiners as well. So by the time the others are joining, right? So we'll have an assessment a daily assessment in the first 5 to 10 minutes from tomorrow onwards, right? So please be prepared for that. Okay, guys. So fine. So what is a load test, guys? So we discussed yesterday. So load test is something which we run with normal user load or expected user load on the application, and usually we do it for 1 to 2 hours, right? Guys, am I audible, guys?
Yes, Pava.
Yeah. So load test is the mandatory test that will be done prior to any other performance test type. Guys, please be ready for assessment, daily assessment from tomorrow onwards. Please be ready, guys. I'll randomly asking few people, and please be ready. The next type of test, the first 5 to 10 minutes, we'll be having assessment, so that those who joined early, for them time will not be wasted for them. Clear, guys? And we can also accommodate late joiners, and please try to join on time. Okay. So if there is any delay from my side, yes, I would be informing that in the WhatsApp group. Right? Now, what is the next type of testing is SOAP or endurance test, right? And I think we completed this also, right? Yes, I think we completed SOAP and stress test also, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now let's see the other types of testing. So the next type of testing is spike testing, right? So what is the general meaning of spike, guys? We discussed that. What is the general meaning of spike?
Sudden increase.
A sudden increase or a sharp increase, right? So spike testing is done by a sudden increase in the user load beyond expected load for shorter duration, right? Spike test is done by sudden increase in the user load beyond expected load for shorter duration, right? And spike test can be considered as a subset of stress testing, right? So stress testing also we increase the user load, right? However, we will in spike test, when you are doing spike test, we maintain that spike for a shorter duration only. So that's why it can be considered as a subset of stress testing. But this statement is important, is because this is one of the important interview questions and one of the top first 5 interview questions. What are the different types of performance testing? And what are the different performance test types that you have executed? Right? Clear, guys? First of all, what are the different types of performance testing are there? Right? That is the first question. And then you can also expect the immediate next question as what are the different performance test types that you executed in any of your project or in all your projects? Clear, guys?
Yes, Pawan.
1 second, guys. Someone is asking Zoom meeting. Yeah. The next type of testing is volume testing, right? So volume testing. Volume testing is something which we do with to check the application behavior or to check the response times when there is huge volume of data in the database, right? So what is this? We'll discuss this in detail. What is volume testing? So first of all, what is volume testing? It is done to verify the response times when there is huge volume of data in the database. Now, what is this huge volume of data in the database? Let us understand this, right? So suppose if you are using a net banking application or a travel application or any application. So whenever you make some, first let us discuss net banking application. Let's take this net banking application example. Suppose if you are making some fund transfer, right? So whenever you do some fund transfer or bill payment, some records will be inserted into the database, right? You made some payment you made some fund transfer to someone else, right? So, there will be a debit transaction or credit transaction. There will be a debit transaction, isn't it? In your bank statement. Yes or no, guys? And the amount will be credited to the recipient, isn't it? So 2 records will be added to the database, right? So 1 debit transaction in your account and 1 credit transaction to the recipient account. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So whenever, or else, if you take any Amazon or Flipkart example, you placed an order. Now 1 record will be inserted into the database, right? Whenever you place some order, not 1 record, there will be multiple records that will be inserted into the database, because 1 records will be having your address details and all. 1 records will be having maybe your payment details, isn't it? There will be multiple tables involved, in any e-commerce application or any net banking application. Any real-time application will have hundreds of tables, right? And not just 1 record will be inserted. There will be, n number of records inserted into the database for every transaction that you do, isn't it? So eventually, over period of time, the database volume will increase, right? Number of records in the database will be increasing gradually, right? For every user transaction, isn't it?
Yes. Yes,
And
Pawan.
now
Yes.
when number of records are increasing, right? So database may become slow, right? Whenever suppose, there are lakhs of records in the database, which are accumulated like this. Whenever a user making some transaction, some records will be n number of records will be inserted into the database. And let's assume that, there will be lakhs of users, obviously, right? Thousands or lakhs of users for any application. And eventually there will be lakhs of records also in the database, right? And when there is huge volume of data, slowly your database may become slow, right? The database performance may become slow. Whenever, let's assume that you are trying to generate an account statement for your net banking application. You are trying to download a statement, right? And when there are n number of lakhs of records in the database, your database may become slow, right? For in fetching the records from database.
Yep.
Right? So that is the reason we have to do volume testing as well. So when there is huge volume of data in the database, how are the response times of your application? To verify that, we do this volume testing, and it is also referred as flood testing. And volume testing is done to analyze the system performance by increasing the volume of data in the database. Suppose there is not enough volume in the test environment, right? We'll be doing performance testing in test environment, isn't it? And now in test environment also, whenever we are doing load testing and soak testing, there will be a lot of records in the database inserted into the database, isn't it? We will be doing load test as well as soak test for longer duration, which will eventually add some records to the database, right? Now we need to test the application performance, right? We have to check here how many records are there in the production environment, and we need to populate those many number of records in the test environment also. If we don't have those many number of records, right? See, we will not do testing in production environment mostly, right? 99.9%, like we will not be doing performance testing in production environment, because production environment will be having real users data. Yes or no, guys? And which is confidential data. So if we are, if we need to do testing in production environment, we need to, some of the team members need access to the production environment database, isn't it? So that's why, that is another reason, we'll have a dedicated environment for testing. Clear, guys? Real user data is confidential data. There, all their, names and address and mobile numbers, email IDs, all that information is confidential data, isn't it? So if you want to do performance testing in production environment, they will change the database. They'll change the database to production database to test environment database. We'll discuss that later, okay? But for now, please remember that, as there are some new joiners, please remember that we'll be doing performance testing in a dedicated environment called test environment or engineering environment. There will be a dedicated environment for testing, whether it is, functional testing or performance testing. There will be a dedicated environment for each team. Clear, guys? And you also understood what is the, what is the importance of volume testing and why should we do volume testing? Yes or no, guys? Yes, please respond, guys.
Yes, sir. In this volume testing, what level of database knowledge is needed?
For doing volume, no, basics database knowledge is enough. Basic SQL knowledge is enough. How to connect to a database and how to run some basic queries like select query, update query, delete query. I'll be giving assignments to you also. So I'll be giving assignments on, you need not join any paid training for that, guys, for learning the SQL basics. So you just go through w3schools.com. w3schools.com and go through these SQL tutorials. You can start learning those SQL tutorials because it will take another 1 week to start JMeter in this batch, right? So please, start going through SQL tutorials. And this is a wonderful website. w3schools.com is a wonderful website wherein you can practice SQL queries with just this website. You need not install anything on your machine. Without installing any database on your machine, you can practice, you can learn SQL concepts and you can practice SQL concepts. How to practice that is, go through this SQL home and intro and syntax, right? And once you, let's say, for example, I'll go some select query, SQL select, right? This is how a select query looks like. Select column 1, select column 2 from table name, or select star from table name. That means this query, this is a select query which fetches all the data from this table, all the data from this table. You need to give the table name here. And now we have a demo database here called customers table. There is a table called customers table in the demo database. Clear, guys? And now how many records it is having? This customers table is having, I think, 93 records. There are displaying only 5 records here. Okay. So suppose if you want to practice this select query, right? So you can click on try it yourself. Okay. And you see here, customers table is having 91 records. These are the different tables in the database, right? Those who are completely new to, computers, right? Those who are from non-computers background, So please go through, start from here, SQL Home. Start from SQL Home. Okay. So, and try to understand whatever you can. Okay. If you are not understanding something, leave it, ignore it. Okay. So we'll see that later. Oh, don't worry about that. But those who are from computers background, you should be having an idea about SQL queries. So please start learning SQL queries, guys. And now if you want to execute this query, so what is this query? Select customer name, city from customers table. These are the table name and these are the column names. Column names in which the customer name and city are stored. Click on now, if you want to execute this query, click on run SQL. And now observe here, it got 91 records with all the customer names and city details. Isn't it? Wonderful, right? You need to understand this query and you remember this query. If you understand this query, you need not by heart, obviously. Please try to understand the query. So what does the select query does? It will fetch all the details, Suppose if you use select star from customers. Let me try that, okay? I will try select, instead of select customer name and city from customers, what I will do is, I'll use select star from customers. Now click on run SQL. Now it is getting all the details, right? All the columns from the customers table, isn't it? Because I gave star here. Star is a wild character, or read it as asterisk or star symbol, asterisk. That should be read as asterisk. Or select star from customers table. And what does that query does? It will fetch all the records from the customers table. So is it easy, guys, to practice? So please start from SQL Home so that it will be easy, and go through introduction and syntax, SQL syntax, and then it will be easy for you guys, even for non-computers guys. Okay. And you'll have, you have a wonderful tutorials over here. Remember, w3schools.com is the website, and you have a lot of tutorials, not only SQL, but you have lot of tutorials over here. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, SQL, Python, Java, lot of tutorials over here. There guys. And for everyone, please start with SQL tutorials. And is it mandatory? Now someone asked that is it mandatory to learn SQL, right? No, it's not mandatory. But if you have the SQL tutorials and Linux in your skill set, again, Linux is also not mandatory. Linux commands are also not mandatory. However, if you have this SQL and Linux in your CV, you can demand at least 2 lakhs, 1 lakh for SQL tutorials and 1 lakh for Linux. Those who are going with experience, guys, not freshers. Okay. So those who are, going with experience, right? If you keep SQL in your CV, you can demand at least 1 lakh more than others. And Linux, if you keep Linux, you can demand 1 more lakh than others. So that is the value of this. And there will be high chances of your CV getting shortlisted and selecting you as well. Clear, guys? Those who are interested to learn, so it's not mandatory, but those who are interested to learn and those who are interested to get good package and get a job easily, so please start this SQL tutorials. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, Pawan.
Yes, Pawan.
So please start this. I will give an assignment in the Google Classroom today. So once I add everyone to the Google Classroom, I'll give an assignment over there. Okay, and you'll receive an email with the assignment with the same, right? Oh, I did not add everyone yet to the Google Classroom. I'll add it. Almost we are closing down on the admissions. So I'll add everyone and I'll start giving assignments over here, right? So please, please start going through SQL tutorials, and you can learn at least one, no need to rush. And no need to learn all these also, by the way. No need to learn all these. Create, joins and all not required for you, for example. Only basic concepts are enough. That's what I said, right? So how much you can assimilate, try it, till that point. Try whatever you can assimilate. Assimilate means understand, whatever you can understand. Okay. And joins and inner join or left join, right join, these are not required. Only basic queries are enough. And in our PPT also, I have listed out the important SQL concepts that you have to learn. Okay. Basic SQL queries only, guys. These are the basic SQL queries. If you learn these basics, that is enough. select, update, delete, insert into, create database, alter database, create table, alter table, drop table, create index. These are enough. Clear, guys?
Okay, Pawan.
And suppose if you know in the interview, suppose if there are 10 candidates who attended the interview, and everyone is, let's say 5 candidates did at the same level, got the same rating, 3 or 4 in JMeter and LoadRunner. And suppose if they see that someone is good in SQL and Linux, there is very much chance that there is a high chance that they will select those guys between equal ratings when they see equal ratings, guys. So if if you, in addition to others, in addition to LoadRunner and JMeter, if you have SQL or Linux in your CV, definitely they will pick you. Okay. So whenever there is a position, right, job position, so they will conduct interviews for multiple people. They'll consider, for every position, they will consider at least 5 to 10 people, right? In performance testing. If it is automation testing, you will have, 40 to 50 people. Because competition will be very high in automation testing. However, fortunately, in performance testing, competition will be very less. For one position, they will consider only 4 to 5. They will not find more number of candidates also. Clear, guys? So if they see like SQL or database concepts or Linux commands in your CV, they will definitely pick you. So please remember that, because this will be helpful to, that will be an added advantage. The SQL or Linux comments will be added advantage to performance testing units, or even for manual and automation testing units also required. Don't think that SQL concepts are required not only for performance testing units, guys. Even you are into manual testing or automation or security testing also, basic SQL knowledge is required. Clear, guys? Okay, so let's go back to our types of performance testing. So the next type of testing is scalability testing. So scalability testing is, and remember one more time, there are some new joiners today, right? So every application doesn't require all these types of testing. Please remember that. Okay. Inni rakal testing lo naya performance testing lo, and no need to worry about that. Okay. Every application doesn't require all types of testing. So based on the requirement, based on the application, so we need to decide which type of testing does it require, right? And how to decide, and also we discussed that in the previous session, last 2 sessions. So please go through the yesterday's session and I think day before yesterday's session, right? So why should we do performance testing for newly developed application, already existing application, types of testing, right? So please go through the last 3 sessions to understand that which type of application requires what type of testing. Okay. And scalability testing is performed to identify if an application is capable to scale up in terms of user load, right? Scale up means support more number of users than normal user load. If you want to see what is the maximum capacity of the application, right? How much can an application scale up? We do something called scalability testing, right? And next one is failover testing. Again, scalability testing is also optional. So mostly done types of testing are load testing and soak testing. Okay. We mostly, for any application, requires these 2 types of testing. After that, after doing this load and soak testing, then only based on the requirement, we do stress testing or spike testing or volume testing, scalability and all this. Clear, guys? So every application doesn't require all types of testing. So however, you may ask me like, then why are we covering this? Why are we discussing this in the first 1 week? Is for interview purpose. You should know like what are the different types of testing, and also these are basics. Clear, guys? Now what is failover testing? So failover testing is used to verify the system's ability to continue day-to-day operations while the processing part is transferred to a backup environment. I repeat one more time. Failover testing is used to verify the system's ability. What is meant by system? Application under, what is meant by system here?
Application under testing.
The application that we are testing, right? The application under test is called as system over here, right? So it is done to verify the system's ability to continue day-to-day operations while the processing part is transferred to a backup environment. Okay, not so clear, right? For everyone, the definition is not so clear for everyone, right?
Yes.
Right. Okay, let me give some example, okay, that everyone knows. Let me give some example that everyone knows, right? So suppose you have frequent power cuts in your area, right? So what do you generally do, guys? You want uninterrupted power supply and there are frequent power cuts in your area. So what do you do generally?
You install backup.
Yeah, you install a backup. So you buy an inverter, isn't it? You'll buy an inverter and you'll set up as a backup environment, power backup, isn't it? Right? Again, that power backup, it will not be connected to all the electrical points at your home, right? Yes or no?
Yes, boss.
Right? You will not have power backup to ACs and geysers, isn't it? But you will get the power backup for all the important electrical points like fan and light in each room, isn't it? And some plugs. Yes or no? Yes. So in the same, so what is the purpose of that? So whenever there is a power failure, you will have a backup environment. You will, that your appliances will be running on the inverter, isn't it? So in the same way, any application, so web application or a mobile application also, suppose there is a main environment. I'll take some examples over here. So State Bank of India has its its main environment or its data center. State Bank of India has its data center in Mumbai. So headquarters is in Mumbai, isn't it? So they are having their data center, main data center, where all their servers will be running in Mumbai. Okay. Now let's say last year or before last year we had floods in Mumbai, right? Isn't it? We had severe floods in Mumbai, and there was normal life was interrupted for days together in Mumbai. Yes or no, guys?
Yes, sir.
Right? But rest of the country is working fine, right? But rest of the country has need to access the SBI net banking application. So whenever there is a disaster like this in a particular location where your main environment is running, your main your servers are running, right? And so there will be, whenever there is a disaster, like in Japan we have earthquakes, or in US we have hurricanes, and there will be power interruptions for many days, isn't it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Right? So but then rest of the country will need to access the application. So rest of the country need not wait for them, right? So they will set up a backup environment for every application. For every application, web application or a mobile application, there will be a backup environment in some other geographical location. Let's say here in this case, if the headquarters if the SBA servers are main servers are in Mumbai, right? They will have a backup environment somewhere in Hyderabad or Chennai or some other location. So that if the main environment is down for some reason, for some natural, whenever there is some natural calamity like earthquake or hurricane or floods like this, which is out of human control, isn't it? The backup environment will be, and if the main environment is down for some reason, right, then the backup environment will be serving the users, so that there will be continuity of business, right? For any business, right, continuity of business is important. So continuity of business. Understood, guys? Now here we want, so there is a main environment and there is a backup environment. Main environment and backup environment will be there for any application, so that if the main environment is down, the business will continue as usual with the help of backup environment, right? Even in our house also, that is the purpose, right? So if the mains power is down, mains power is not there, then we will have we will have uninterrupted power supply with the help of inverters, isn't it? We'll set up as a backup, so to continue our work. Yes or no, guys? So now what is failover testing is, we need to test if main environment is down for some reason, whether the application is working fine or not with the help of backup environment, whether users are able to access the application through backup environment or not. And now once the main environment is up, right? All the user load should be directed towards the main environment from backup environment. User load should not go to backup environment if main environment is up, because main environment will be more, like it will be more scalable, or it can support more number of users. But backup environment will be slow compared to main environment. Backup environment will be slow, and it will be having less number of servers. Just like how our inverter example. All your appliances at home will work on main environment, but some appliances will not work on backup on inverter, right? Inverter or a generator, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Like ACs and geysers or your mixers, grinders, they will not be having backup connection or inverter connection, isn't it? Because generator or inverter will be of less capacity, isn't it? So in the same way, your main environment will be supporting more number of users, or backup environment will be a small environment or a downsized environment. Clear guys? It can support less number of users. So that's why once the main environment is down, the user load should be directed to the main environment. So testing to switch this, right? This is called as failover. Failover means if main environment is down, backup environment should be into action. And again, once the main environment is up and running, now main environment should be in action, and all the user load should go to main environment. So we test that, and testing that functionality or testing that feature is called as failover testing. Now this statement should be clear now. The system's ability, the application's ability to continue day-to-day operations while the processing part is transferred to a backup environment. Your application is running on backup environment. Now, how the system is able to handle the user load and continue day-to-day operations. To do that, testing that is called as failover testing. Clear, guys? Suppose you bought an inverter or a generator, and an electrician technician came to give the connections, right? And once he give the connections, right? So what will he do, guys, before he leave or before you make payment to him? What will you expect him to do? Inverter install cheyadaniki vachadu mi intiki, right? And like he gave all the electrical connections whatever you have preferred. Like generally we will give one fan and one light in each room, or if required you will give some bed light and washrooms as well. And now before making payment and let him go, what do you expect him, or what do you ask him to do, or what does he generally do?
We will check on.
We will test it.
How does he test that?
By switching
By
main power supply.
Right. He'll
Triggering the main
turn off
power
the
supply.
mains power, and he'll check whether all the connections are, all the important connections are working on the backup or not, isn't it? Yes or no? Right? He will do test that, right? He will turn off the mains power and check whether all the electrical connections connected to the backup are working fine or not, isn't it? And then he'll turn off the mains power, turn on the mains power, isn't it? So that is called as failover testing there in that case, right? Here in the case of any application, right, this is what we do. We start the test, we start the performance testing, or we start the load test and bring down the main so initially they will be, all the users will be running on main environment. After some time, we will bring down the main environment, servers in the main environment. Now we will test whether all the user load is going to backup environment or not, and users are getting response or not. And then after some time, we'll turn on the servers. We'll bring up the servers in the main environment and see whether users are served by main environment or not, right? So this ensures that the business will continue even when main environment is down. Is it clear, guys?
Yes, Pawan.
Right. So, and this is called as failover testing. Testing this part is called as failover testing. Okay. Now, we are done with the important types of testing, guys. Now, any queries? I'll take a pause here. Do you have any queries?
Pawan, have you tested in your career, Pawan? This
Failover testing, yes, I did it in 2 projects only till now.
Means how many times, like in a count?
Couple of times, like 3 to 4 times. So actually, failover testing, I did it for the first time when I was working for Bank of America in 2015 or 17. Those who are having Please mute yourself. Those who are having some background noise, please mute yourself, guys. Or else I'm muting everyone. So please unmute if you have any queries. Guys, if you have any queries, if you want to unmute, you can press and hold the space bar on your keyboard. You know space bar, what is a space bar, right? Press and hold the space bar to temporarily unmute yourself. Can you please try that once, everyone? Press and hold the space bar, right? And once you release it, again, you will go to mute. Understood, guys? So whenever you want to ask something or speak out, please press and hold the space bar on your keyboard. And once you are done, please release the space bar. Okay, so that there will not be, others will not get disturbed or distracted. Clear, guys?
Yes.
Is that shortcut working?
Yes, Pawan.
Okay, good, wonderful. And also, if you want to mute or unmute, you can use Alt-A on Zoom meeting. This is the Zoom meeting shortcut. Alt-A means Alt for alter, A for audio. As simple as that. If you are in mute and if you want to unmute yourself, press Alt-A, right? Or if you are unmute and you want to mute yourself, also the same shortcut will work. I gave the Zoom meeting shortcuts also for your information. Okay, I gave some Windows shortcuts as well as Zoom meeting shortcuts in the PPT. So these are the Windows shortcuts everyone should know and use. Also, these are the Zoom meeting shortcuts. As you know, for the next 3 to 4 months, we will be using Zoom meeting. These are the Zoom meeting shortcuts, important Zoom meeting shortcuts. Alt-A is for mute or unmute. Alt-V is for turn video on or off, right? Space bar is temporarily unmute or temporarily mute yourself. So space bar. Clear, guys? And Alt-H is to bring the chat window. Alt-S is to share your screen. So please remember this. And see, A for audio, V for video, S for share screen, S for screen here. Clear, guys? I don't know why they gave Alt-H for chat. Okay. So spacebar is for temporarily mute or unmute. So you can remember in that way. Clear, guys? Any queries now in these different types of testing? Right? So if not, what is the time now? 8:47. So, and we already did this assessment previously, isn't it? So now, right? So please go through the previous, those who joined, those who missed the previous sessions, please go through the recording sessions. Okay. So don't keep backlogs, guys. Please don't keep backlogs.
I have a question here, Pawan. So what is meant by capacity testing? Is it same as load testing?
No. Capacity testing means like capacity testing. There are capacity planning and capacity testing. Capacity testing means, first of all, capacity testing means it's similar to scalability testing. So basically, what is the capacity of the application, user load capacity of the application? Okay, that is capacity testing. Now, capacity planning has a different meaning. Okay, I'll explain it later. So new joiners or beginners will get confused. Otherwise, capacity planning means this is mostly done in the product based companies. Capacity planning is something which we mostly do in product based companies. So whenever for example, I am working in a product based company now, right? So, and we are having some product, and we will be selling that. Our organization will be selling that product to multiple clients. So Dell is one client, Ford is one client, like that. It will be, they will be selling their product to multiple clients. Now, capacity planning means we need to plan, or we need to test and suggest the client how much configuration does they require for their requirement. Okay. For their requirement, how much, how many CPUs are required, how much memory is required, right? So we need to give a ballpark figure on the required configuration for their environment. See, suppose, Ford will have many clients. And other than that, there are some small clients as well, right? So each requirement will be different. Each client's requirement will be different. So we need to do, capacity planning for each client and suggest them what is the required hardware configuration, what is the required software configuration for their environment. That is called as capacity planning.
Okay.
So, like, you need not know all these guys. So whatever are there in the first PPT or, whatever are there, highlighted, right? So understand those and remember those, okay?
Okay.
But however, you should know that there is something called volume testing and scalability testing as well, and failover testing and capacity planning testing as well. But tell that, I did only these types of testing in my project or in my experience so far. That's enough, good enough. If you can answer and explain these 4 types of testing, that would be good enough.
Okay,
Yeah,
Pawan.
guys. And again, these are mandatory. That's why I have marked in a different color. And we do these stress and spike testing based on the requirement and based on the application that you are testing. Right? So, but you can tell that, these 4 types of testing, you can tell that, you have experience or good knowledge on all these 4 types of testing.
Okay.
Clear?
Yes, Pawan.
Because, like for beginners, if you go to capacity testing, capacity planning testing and all failover testing, you may have, in-depth questions. So let's not, give the chance to the interviewer. Okay.
Okay, Pawan.
Yeah. For beginners, guys. Okay. For beginners or though for 3 to 4 years experience, these would be enough. Right? For those who are having, 10 years who are attending as a team lead or a project lead, yes, these are also required.
Okay.
Okay. And see, everywhere I am using color coding and highlighting also, that means there is some reason for, for that highlighting or color coding. Please understand that. Right? So in the same way, request response cycle also, I'll show you. I use color coding in, almost every slide wherever required. And request response cycle also. So you see, I'm using color coding over here to indicate that, protocol is HTTPS in this example. Server name is ircdc.co.in in this example. Resource path means nothing but this one, right? Is it easily understandable, guys? With color coding, right? So I use color coding and highlight some lines, right? So those are important. Those are important to understand. That's what it means. Clear, guys? I'll stop it here, guys, for today, and we'll continue tomorrow. So we are done with the different types of performance testing. And I'll check one more time. So if anyone did not receive the PPT, so please ping me so that I'll share the PPT to everyone. And guys, once I share the training material, I cannot refund the fees. Please remember that. Okay. So please, please think and let me know. Before sharing the time, though, this is for those who did not confirm their joining yet. Before sharing the training material, if you ask me fee refund, yes, I can do that happily. I don't have any issues with that. But once I share the training material, I cannot refund the fees. Clear, guys? Any other queries, guys, before we close for today?
Pawan, can you add my number to our WhatsApp group? July WhatsApp group.
Okay, who's there?
Sundar is here. Sundar.
Sure, Sundar. Yeah. And one more thing, guys. So we almost reached the threshold of this online batch. 30 is the threshold of this batch. However, that's why I'm starting classroom training as well. As few people here in this batch asked for classroom training. So we are planning classroom training as well. And we have 20 seats only in classroom training. And already 5 people, confirmed their joining for classroom training. So there are, few more seats left in classroom training, guys. Okay. The capacity of the classroom currently is 20. Clear, guys? And it's in, the classroom venue is near to Miapur metro station. Walkable distance to Miapur metro station. Clear, guys? And you will have, yesterday someone asked like, do we need to get mobile data or Wi-Fi? No, we'll provide all those. Wi-Fi and, no need of mobile data. We'll provide Wi-Fi and all those in the venue. And you will have a lab coordinator as well. 8 to 9 will be the session timing, JMeter session timing. And, it will be in parallel. It will be going hand in hand in parallel. So those who want to join online, those who are opted for online, they will be joining online. Those who want classroom, they will come for classroom and sit in front of me. Clear, guys? And we'll have a projector over there, projector or TV over there, right? and they will be looking at the TV or projector. Clear, guys? Or the screen, right? And for those who come for classroom training, you will have a lab coordinator who will be available to clarify your doubts immediately. So 9 to 10 is you can practice the scripting. Once we start scripting, right, you can practice scripting. So 8 to 9 would be JMeter live session, JMeter live training, and 9 to 10 would be for scripting for lab. Okay. And some people, okay, you'll have lab availability for doing scripting. And some people are joining LoadRunner batch, right? LoadRunner batch also parallelly. What you can do is you can attend the JMeter live training from 8 to 9, and then you can attend, however, our LoadRunner trainer, it's completely online. He cannot give you classroom training. Okay. LoadRunner, some people are joining LoadRunner training as well from 9 to 10. So what you can do is, like that is only online, yes, only online. So you can join that LoadRunner training from there itself. Understood, guys? And once that is done, you can leave from there. Clear, guys? And by the time LoadRunner will be completed by mid of August, right? Next month. So and our JMeter scripting will be started, will not be started till 24th July, right? There will be some overlap, but this is how you have to plan. Those who want to join LoadRunner, you can join LoadRunner online from the venue itself, from the classroom venue itself. Clear, guys? Guys, is it clear? Or those who want to, join only JMeter, so you can join live training from 8 to 9, and then you can do scripting practice, because there will be your batchmates. If you have any doubts and all, you can discuss with them, or you'll have a dedicated lab coordinator to clarify any doubts, or doubts in scripting, or any blockers, etc. You can resolve it there and then, right? So that is the plan, guys, for classroom training.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, for online people, it's 9 scripting practices there.
Yeah. So for those who are joining online, if you have any issues or doubts, you need to post it in the WhatsApp group, right? And I'll add one guy for helping you out. Okay. I'll add one guy to once the scripting is started, right? So I'll add one guy to act as a lab coordinator. So he'll be clarifying the doubts if I am not available. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. But you need to post the screenshot with the issue in the WhatsApp group, or you need to explain the issue properly. Yeah, someone else is asking something. Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking. Yeah. So if you don't want to attend in parallel, guys, yes, you can. So once you complete JMeter, then we'll start our next LoadRunner batch from mid-August. Understood, guys? So next LoadRunner batch for LoadRunner will be from mid of August. Till then, you can attend only JMeter and practice scripting. Then after, like once LoadRunner is started in the next batch, you can join for LoadRunner from the mid of August. Okay. Any queries, guys? Any queries, or you see any risks involved over here?
Yeah, Pawan, how much time will it take for JMeter?
JMeter, we are going to start from 24th July, right? So scripting part will be completed by end of August. And by mid of September, like monitoring and analysis also will be done.
Okay,
I'm keeping some buffer
to
time,
get a
1 or 2 weeks.
hands-on
I know I'm keeping 1 or 2 weeks as a buffer time. Okay. So
to get a hands-on experience for scripting takes August, right?
Yes.
To get hands-on scripting.
Scripting will be completed by August. Scripting will be completed by August.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
And test executions also will be completed by August, hopefully, right? And then monitoring, server-side monitoring and analysis will be covered in September first fortnight of September.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, that Dynatrace batch, when it is going to start?
Oh, okay. So Dynatrace, no, I don't have any update as of now. I cannot commit any timelines as of now. Because I'm having huge workload. I'm working on Saturday also. For my sometimes I'm working on Saturdays as well. Okay, so I don't have a definite timeline as of now for that Dynatrace weekend training. Okay, but so I'll definitely let you know if I am starting. Will definitely let you know. But don't worry about Dynatrace. Okay, so there are n number of APM tools. So any one APM tool doesn't really matter. So our performance testing and engineering concepts are important. Okay, so it is just one APM tool, and you can tell that you didn't get a chance to work. Okay, so because Dynatrace is very costly tool, and not all companies or not all clients can afford. All clients cannot afford Dynatrace license cost. Understood. So JMeter, LoadRunner, BlazeMeter, monitoring and analysis concepts are mandatory. So those are first important, right? So meanwhile, I'll plan something, or maybe next week, next month, I'll plan something. In August, I'll plan to start this Dynatrace batch. Okay. So I'm pausing recording. Any other queries, guys, before we close the session for today? So let me make Sham as host. Sham will continue the LoadRunner session. All right. And those who are watching this on YouTube channel, so thanks for watching till now. And this is my WhatsApp number, guys. If you want to enroll for the live training or classroom training, online, either online or classroom training. Okay. Online batch is almost full, and we have few seats left in classroom training only. Online batch is almost full. We have only 3 to 4 because some people are switching from online to classroom. That's why like we have few more seats, very few seats left in online training. Right? Hope it is clear, and save my WhatsApp number and ping me on my WhatsApp number, guys. Okay. And thanks for joining and have a nice day.